What is up, everyone? We are live. It's been a while. It's been like probably, I don't know, a month and a half since we've gone live. So, what is up, everyone? We're going to have a silly goose time. It's been a while.
Oh,
it's been
crap.
like probably, I don't know,
I can hear myself.
A month. There we go. Sorry. I could hear the show going on. But yeah, it's been a month and a half since we've streamed. I've been really busy with personal life, day job, been very sick, been doing a lot of traveling, been trying to finish these comics. I'm very behind actually on some of the comics, so very sorry about that. We'll be doing some Kickstarter updates tonight. Just be real, I'm probably going to be like 2 weeks late on one of the projects. That sucks. That's just the reality of it. Me getting sick last week and then going on a 2-week work trip last month just was not planned, and that totally just ruined me. But yeah, we have an awesome show tonight. We have Stokes, the writer. He's going to come on. We're going to talk about his new book, I Don't Give a Fuck About Aliens. We're going to talk also about some debates that have been happening in the indie community. You guys know how it is. We talk about marketing. All of a sudden, everyone starts getting like super sensitive about it. Super gay. What can we do? Real quick, let me promote one thing for myself tonight. Super Plumber Sisters 4, the series finale is gonna be going live in hopefully like a month and a half. The line work is 100% complete on this book. I just want to get at least 50% of the gray tones done, just so that I can release this book a lot faster. But yeah, super excited for it. But who knows? Maybe we'll just do it quicker. Who knows? Everything's ready. The covers, the sequential art, the campaign page is ready. I just got to hit that live button. So link is in the chat. Link is in the description. But yeah, let's. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring in Stokes. Let me check out who's in the chat real quick. We've got Aljamil. Hopefully Godfo won't be so insufferable if he comes on. He's not coming on tonight. We got Massive Panda in the house. Yo, what's going on, Tyler? Oh, dude, we're just chilling. That's what we're doing. And let me just tweet this out. We are live. All right, let's bring on Stokes, and guys, we're gonna have a silly goose time. I'm like managing so many different screens when it's up to the StreamYard stuff because I don't want to pay for it anymore. So let's see how we go. All right, add to stage. All right, we got Stokes in the house. Stokes, how you doing, man?
What's good, bro? How do I sound?
You sound good.
Okay, all right, cool.
You sound good. Now I just gotta make sure that I've got the chats up and everything so I can see them. It's gonna be interesting because I haven't gone live in forever. So
Yeah. Okay.
it'll be good. We got some good topics. Stokes, dude, how close are you to doing this full time, man? I feel like you and Chris are putting out some shit.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I think the biggest thing for me right now is health insurance. That is the biggest thing that I'm always keeping in mind is health insurance because like that's something you just have to. If you have private health insurance, it's something that's something that I've never factored paying for in my life, right? And that'd be something I'd have to consider, So I did have. It was January, the first week of January. I took like 10 days off work, and I went up to New York, see some friends, and I had a writer's room. I had a meeting. I had a performance review. I had it was a chock full week of comics. Okay, I could not have done this while working a full time job
For sure.
And I need more of those. I need more of those weeks before I'm like, all right, now I'm jumping in. But hopefully we're trending that way,
That's awesome. That's good that you're thinking about like health insurance and stuff. There's so many, you see all these like old comic book creators. Like, you don't want to end up on the GoFundMe at like 70 years old. Like,
oh, nobody give me shit, bro. I already know nobody gonna give me shit.
They're gonna be like, oh, dude, I'm so glad this guy's dying.
Bro, it feel like that sometimes.
So real quick, guys, we'll briefly talk about this right now, and then we'll get into it later in the show once more people get in here. But Stokes, you do have a new book coming out soon. I Don't Give a Fuck About Aliens, #1 and 2. This is your best-selling series, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. The first one I think is just shy over $21,000. Or no, it's over. Yeah, it's just shy.
It's your best publicly launched series.
Yeah. I mean, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, Exodus Club. It was so funny because Exodus Club was doing good. It was like doing X #3. It was doing really good, and it had just passed Aliens. And Chris was like, "Yeah, you know what it is." Like he was like, "Rule number one." I was like, "Oh my fucking god, bro."
That's how is it, by the way, having like you two like hanging out, being friends, doing shit together, like rising up together? How is that?
That's my dog, bro. Like, I guess he's definitely one of my closer friends in comics, and no, I mean, he's that's my guy. I don't regret nothing. I think we get on each other's nerves for sure, like 110%. I think we were in New York all week, and we I would say something, and he give me a side eye like, "Yo, what?" I'd be like, "Nothing, big bro. My
Damn.
bad, my bad, bro, my fault." And then it was the last day I was there. It's like, "Yo, you want to go get something to eat?" And he was like, "Yo, I've been with you for a whole week." I was like, "Yeah, that's facts." Like, it's funny when you hang out with somebody online, you don't realize, you don't keep track of like, "Oh yeah, I have been hanging out with this person all week." But no, yeah, shouts out to Chris, bro. He's doing this thing. To see, I haven't been there the whole time, but to see the New York rise has been lit, and I think he's getting better and better. And yeah, man, that's my guy.
That's sick. So real quick, give us a quick overview of this before and then we'll get into the topics, and after that, we'll really after like later on once we get more people in here, we'll do a deep dive.
Yeah, no. So speaking of Chris, we were talking. This is when they revealed they found alien remains in Mexico or something like that. And Chris is like, he's a big conspiracy theories. Oh, look what I got. Actually, I got his book. I
Oh,
got his book Synap from Mad Cave. His first published book right here.
oh
Uh,
shit! I didn't know he was doing that stuff. Wow, you guys are really moving.
oh, I mean, this ain't my shit, but yeah, he's doing great. He's doing great.
I know you got stuff in the works though.
Well, you know. Yeah. Like I don't give a fuck about aliens, right? So he was telling me, he's like, "You don't care about this?" I'm like, "Man, I don't give a fuck about aliens." And that really, on that Discord, was where the idea happened. And I always liked comedies. Like my favorite comic, if you're just talking about like what would I prefer, what can I read at any given time? Any given point, any mood, what can I read? It would be fucking Rama One Half. um I love comedies, and so this was really I guess it's Fun to Kill People in Extras Club were like there as well, but this is like mostly just straight comedy, like that supernatural. This is like sci-fi,
Uh
but
huh.
the joke is almost like how little world building there is, like where it's like, yo, there's all this whole plot conspiracy going on, I gotta get to a fucking wedding. Like, um got amazing artists in Patrick Mulholland. We got my boy Ruby to color it, and yeah, no, I truthfully love this book, and it's been fun. And the second issue, I feel like we just take it and we just turn it to like 15, 20. Like it just the difference and the ability to just be so irreverent and like just have a lot of fun it just scratches an itch, that I hadn't previously scratched as much.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
sick. We
definitely
have
love it.
wait real quick. We got Hero Darky Dark here saying, "What's up? What's good, everyone?" We got Bat Sauce Beep Beep. We got VNet Fat saying, "Oh my gosh, no, not the sexy alien women like Stokes. Like, how dare you have a sexy book? You must be doing that for money and shortcuts. You're not actually passionate about the story. You don't want to be the next Alan Moore."
Well, technically I think this is a self-insert story, right? So
How
this is
dare
kind of,
you? We don't do it.
yeah, yeah.
How dare you? Let's
Kendrick Park.
well let's oh shit let's get into that because like that's been like the conversation the last like week and a
Yeah.
half has been sexy books, like are you passionate, are they money grabs, and like my big thing is I've seen some creators going, listen, if you want to get taken seriously like Alan Moore, you wouldn't do this stuff. And I'm like, but why do you think that I want to even be like Alan Moore? Why do you think I even want to be up there? I like doing this shit. Like, I like doing this shit. So
Can I say something real quick?
say it.
Alan Moore does porn, by the way. Like just putting that out there. Alan Moore makes smut. Like literally, like we can uh do mental gymnastics or have our own definition, but like what Alan Moore's doing is quite literally smut. Like it's novelized. Yeah.
Uh
So
huh. Or like even
so
like or
nobody's
even
free.
like a Frank Miller or someone like that. It's just like, do you want to be taken
Yeah.
seriously? And it's like, why like
Frank Miller
one,
made some
why can't you
bullshit
be
too.
taken seriously with these books?
Frank Miller has made some crazy wild shit. Yeah, like yeah, I think that is the conversation, and I think it's I can offer a perspective on this because I've done both. You know, I actually had the mentality of a godfo, um, like not that I think he has a moral argument against it. I don't have a moral argument, but I was like, oh, this shit is cheap. This shit is boom, boom, boom. And what happened is I ended up reading it, and I was like, no, this not only is this good, but the particular books that I was reading, this is frankly better than the non NSFW books as well. And a lot of that is that the creators are able to get so many notches in their belt with so many titles, right? I it almost feels dubious to compare. It feels dubious to compare the two just because the resources that one provides, et cetera, et cetera. But I was on that side. And I started reading them. I was like, no, this is good. This is good stuff. Nobody would call Game of Thrones smut. Like nobody would call like any of them HBO shows smut. Breaking Bad had sex in it. I don't. It's pretty dismissive, you know. But we'll get into it. We'll get
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had I posted this this tweet today. I was like, Reborn as a vending machine is so freaking fun. The amount of creativity in this is crazy. Definitely a fun read. And well, dude, what's crazy is I got an email. So it wasn't a Twitter, it wasn't a Facebook, it was an email. And the person was like, and this is why like no one will take your shit seriously because this is the books you read. And I'm like, but this is like a best selling like isekai book. It's very popular, but like to me, I'm like, okay, but I enjoy reading this. So what, like, what? Who cares if that's, you know what I mean? But I feel like, yeah, I agree. It's like this. It's so, I don't know. It's this moral, egotistical, like trying to be intellectual, and it's like, bro, we're just making fun books.
well, that's not true though. This individual is probably making a fun. It's all case by case, right? And I guarantee that person didn't read that book because I never read shit like this. And this isn't even sexy. Like I mean, like you'd have to stretch. Like it's colorful,
She's wearing a
but
crop top, man.
yeah, exactly. Like if you want to reach, and
Yeah.
I had a realization. I had like that hit me like a sack of bricks, dog. We They can talk about they can speculate on the amount of money we have or we made or what have you and weaponize that against us, but we can't do the same essentially. Like it'd be in poor taste, which I would agree with. I think it's corny. That's what motherfuckers did to me. You know, when I say motherfuckers, I mean you as well. You know, Larry. Like a lot of people did that shit. They was like, "Oh yeah, you're not gonna make this. You're not making money. You're not doing numbers, etc." So I don't want to turn around and do that to somebody unless they're being an ass, like Godful was. But that's the thing I'm noticing too is like, yo, your success can be weaponized against you, really.
It gets to a
But
point where you can't say anything.
yeah, I mean, it's not even worth it. Truthfully, it's not even worth going back and forth with somebody like this. It doesn't even make really any sense. We're all some, we get bored sometimes, go back and forth, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's something I realized. I was like, yeah, my lack of success was being weaponized, and then my success, my perceived success was being weaponized. And I think my perspective has changed a lot around this entire topic, how I approach like all this stuff, truthfully. Last year when I said I have no enemies, I wanted that to be true. Like I wanted that to be the case, but now I've kind of followed through, like in kind of stepping away from that. I can kind of look at things and be like, all right, I'm more emotionally intelligent. I understand how I feel. I understand this, that. So I can just approach things with a new perspective. So that's why I kind of wanted why I wanted to broach the topic. And I feel like the discourse has been dog shit, which I don't know what I expected. I mean, I saw a comment from Godfo on the Lucid Comic stream, and he was like, "Hey, could there be an algorithm that can tell which book is furthest along in its progress to get created?" It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That would be an algorithm. You don't know what an algorithm is. That doesn't account for, is this a volume? Is it a floppy? It doesn't count for the size. It doesn't count. It's just like these guys just don't know what
Well,
they're
that's the
talking.
well that like. Did you watch the one that I did with Tony on Lucids?
Yes,
Okay,
trust me.
because
Yeah,
that was like the same thing is like for me, I come at things from a place of just like the reality and like I can only hold one person accountable and that's myself. These other guys are like, well, Kickstarter should be doing this. Kickstarter should be doing this. The algorithm should be doing this. Kickstarter should boost these people. It's like, bro, but they're not. And they don't have to. It's not their job. So like what are you going to do about it? Well, they shouldn't be they're like smut shouldn't be doing as much. I'm like, okay, whose fault is that? Is it the backers' fault? Because they're the
yes.
ones buying it, and they go, "Oh, you're just trying to." It's always pushing the responsibility and accountability away from themselves, and also just trying to really demean others. Like you don't put like I hate the word smut. That's like the lowest of the low. That's like lower than pornography. So it's
None
like
of us make that.
none
None
of
of us
us make that um at all. And I agree, like the discourse is just to demean people who are more successful, and also take the responsibility out. Yes, is it going to be harder to do a more high fantasy comic book on Kickstarter? Probably, but it's not Kickstarter's job to promote you. You've got to bring in your own audience and then push and then bring them in there.
So here's what I did, because I saw clips of that stream, and with my newfound sense of emotional intelligence, I got so pissed off. Frankly, I got pissed off at you at some points.
That's
I
fair.
got pissed off at, frankly, the host, who I don't think I shouldn't say pissed off. I got irritated, and then of course, Tony just
What did I do to piss you off?
always irritates me, bro. Cause like a lot of y'all, here's why I will give Tony, is Tony is clearly comfortable arguing. Like he's clearly, he can handle himself when his back against the wall, and I don't think a lot of people can. I don't know that you can. I don't know that you can do that.
That's
Um
fair. I
and then
can. I'll tell you this. I didn't want to be insulting. I didn't want to
right,
like I
right.
talked with Travis. He's like, if he punches you, if you punch back, you'll look bad, and if you take the hits, you're gonna lose the argument. So
Yeah,
I just chose to lose the argument. I could have been like, fuck your mustache.
I feel like overall, and I'll give everybody, this did not turn into the shit show that the original debate did, but I felt like also the whole like, oh, he's like, oh, it's wild that Stokes had screenshots. Like, God forbid I'm fucking prepared for
For a debate or a
for a debate.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it is, that's the, like the little shit. That's the little shit that we can get past that. But no, I mean, I thought it was, and let me be clear as well. My intent is to talk. I think what's unfortunate, and we're all guilty. Now, I haven't gone back and forth with nobody really, except BA. So we're all guilty of really not keeping it comics, right? Or not arguing the point, right? Like BA and Godfo will not deflect, excuse me. They'll kind of do these little half pivots. I've noticed, with this is true for Tony, Godfo, and BA, that I've noticed is um they don't want you to draw conclusions based off of like they don't want you to come to like common sense conclusions, right? So uh if you're, it was just, I have so many fucking thoughts. Let's say you had an artist draw one of your books, right? And if you said, if it was implied that you have no artistic merit, the books have no artistic merit because they're smut, and then you were to say, so my artist just didn't give a shit about this book, it'd be like, no, because I don't want to shit on the artist, but that is more or less the conclusion that any person kind of paying attention could come to. Like if that, we don't do that with movies, right? Like I remember Game of Thrones season 8, everybody was like, look, the directors did their job, the hair, the makeup, the sound, the score, the actors, everybody did their thing, but the writers were ass, right? Like we don't do that when we're talking about comics. And I think like I'm gonna keep it just to the argument. I'm not gonna I'm gonna try my best to keep it above the belt. I think that's gonna move the goalpost gonna be moved, but I'm just gonna attack the argument. You know, obviously we all know how I feel about Tony. I'm just talking comics essentially. And um the first problem I had really was the idea of like a curation or these personal group of people, a group of
Curating
people
Kickstarter.
create Kickstarter, like, oh, we're gonna boost up these. I mean, the sheer the also there's so many problems with this. One, there are so many fucking campaigns, bro. There is an obscene amount of Kickstarter campaigns, comic campaigns, right? My core problem with this is that they are treating Kickstarter like it is a comic book company. It is not. It is a crowdfunding company. It is not a comic book company. Um, the only the you know what, like the people or the companies or entities that owe you high quality story driven character focused prestige books, it's Image, it's Dark Horse, it's Mad Cave. Those are the people that need to do the thing that you are describing. Crowdfunding is the crowd is funding them. So, like, in theory, I like the idea of helping out, like, strong, like, small, strong campaigns. Although I do feel like Kickstarter has, like, um, a nearly funded, like, search as well. But one, there's so many campaigns, and it was like, well, what you brought up, I think you were halfway there. You brought up, um, well, I think you said like, what if the curators don't like a particular genre,
Yeah.
right? That's a great point. No, but I think that's a half the point. The full point is, what if they make a separate genre for Kickstarter, like more specific, which I think is a good idea. I think that is a good idea, but unfortunately, as described, that would mean that Star Noir and Cyber Girlfriend would pull up in the same category. So it's not flawless. Maybe you'd make an NSFW category. I don't know. What if there's a
But how
curator.
NSFW is it NSFW? Is it the whole thing? Is it a cover? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm arguing it from their perspective. I'm
Okay.
I'm arguing from their perspective. So anything with the new cover, anything that has sexually suggestive, boom, that's an SFW. Because I'm arguing from their perspective. What if there's a specific category and Kickstarter's like, we are going to go based off of quality, right? This objective quality, and then your book still doesn't do shit. What then? Because now it's not up to the algorithm.
Yeah.
You're at the mercy of these people, and they don't like your shit. And what was even more frustrating was essentially I thought this is where, and I understand that Lucid and Kyle, right?
Yeah.
Lucid and Kyle, they're already familiar with Tony's work. You know, they're already familiar. But it's like I didn't like how it was taken for a debate, that it was taken for granted that Tony's stuff was of great objective great quality, and your stuff was essentially bad quality or poor quality. It was taken at face value, and the significance of that is you ask them what makes something objectively great, what makes something well written, or excuse me, well done, and there was no answer. Like I would argue that like something being well done would be like, what's the print quality? You know, like are the margins correct and stuff like that. Like I feel like there are things that you could point to that like if a book doesn't do this, it's not of high quality. But that wasn't even a part of the
But all
conversation. It was,
but
yeah,
also going with that metric, it's crowdfunding, so like you can't even judge based off of that the print quality because it's not even out yet. And
exactly. Yeah,
I agree with you on like the oh, if we have a curated group of people, they'll be able to push quality. To me, I'm like the arrogance of thinking that your book would be that good that these group of people will always pick yours. Because yeah, what happens if they go, yeah, your book's still shit, and
that's a whole
it's
different argument.
and so to me like the curation just it it's changes what Kickstarter is as a platform completely. You want a publisher, go with the publisher. If your book's that good, go throw it into a publisher. And then but then also it's you want Kickstarter to do something that you're not doing yourself, which is the marketing aspect of it, which is the growing your audience. No, go for it.
I'm gonna go with his argument, and his argument that these creators are doing everything right. They're doing everything right. And this is also a problem. This is also a huge problem. This is also one of my core problems with, and this is across the board, but this would be like a good faith criticism I would levy specifically, especially I would say towards Tony, in that he's talking about all these creators. Oh, these creators do this, that, this, that, this, that, and essentially we're going off objective quality, which essentially is, so what are we talking about? We're talking about like prestige books. That's essentially because that's what they like. That was what was leaning towards it. So if we were to give Tony the keys, it'd just be starting a war 4 times on the banner, at the bottom of the footer. And I'm like, all these creators, we've had this argument for a year and a half, and I know of 2 people that Tony likes. It's Alan Moore and it's Nandor.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's Alan Moore and Nandor, which I love
And
Nandor, by the
listen,
way. We love Nandor.
I have not a single bad word to say about Nandor. And when he talks about Nandor, it's coming from a sincere place, and that's lit. But it feels like a straw man when you can't the when we talk about marketing, it is not a skill to get people to not read something or buy something. People aren't going to buy the thing regardless. The skill is in bringing people to the thing and making people buy thing. And what I would ask, and sincerely, I'd be like, hey, what value have you brought to the platform? You know, and I get that'd be a fair criticism. You could let other than me or anybody else, but I would be like, yo, I've backed over 200 books. I'm reading the books. I'm in communion, and I can name creators who I think are doing like quality books that aren't doing NSFW books. I think Caleb Palmquist is doing good.
Charlie
Yes,
McKelvey.
Charlie McVelvey does do some NSFW. He put the American Yakuza, colored by John Rauch. So let's put that in the back pocket. We're talking about objective quality,
Damn it.
I Mike Shea, who does Mystic Tonic High, him as well. Kevin Joseph in the Tart series. Um, and I know that because I'm on the platform and I'm reading books. I just simply feel that ultimately, simply put, I don't trust you with the keys because I just feel like you're asking for something. Also, if I'm in the mood for a prestige book, right? Like I'm like, damn, I want to read something that's like character driven, thematically heavy, beautiful artwork. Why the fuck am I going to Kickstarter? Because if that thing was objectively great, wouldn't the publisher pick it up?
So on here's a counter though to what you're saying. So are you saying that there's no books on Kickstarter that are prestige, like that have those things that you just said? Do your books not have any of those things? Those
Well,
elements? Are
well,
you
I'm trying
downplaying
to.
your books?
No, well, again, I'm arguing from the perspective I make dog shit. I'm arguing from the perspective of the detractors, right? No, but I'm just saying I thought of this analogy. I don't know if it's good or not. If I can go to a pizza place and get good wings, um, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I want the safe bet, why wouldn't I go to Wingstop for great wings? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if I want a prestige book, I'm gonna go to where the resources are
Oh, fair.
because that's the best artists. Well, I shouldn't say that. The established artists are generally going to be there when
The
you're looking for.
conception with a mainstream title is that this person's been vetted. They've worked their way up the ranks. They've got to be good because they're up these. Whereas with Kickstarter, this is an open platform. Anyone can do this. This could be someone's first book, their fifth, their 10th, their 100th. Roll Tide.
I have so many goddamn thoughts, bro. I'm trying to keep them straight, yo. I'm really trying to keep them shit straight. And it's like, yo, here's the problem though, and here's where I will agree. I don't know if I've ever heard him say this, but I think where I agree with Tony is I think Kickstarter is suffers in the long form. aspect, like in the fact that like the best thing you could do is make a number one, and the second best thing you could do is make a number three, right? Like in the dual volume. That is the most cost effective, best use of your resource if you're making comics on Kickstarter. And I think that's unfortunate. But in terms of prestige books, it's like, okay, word, but I have to have we can't even get access to certain artists, the artists that might make something like that, right? Like it's there's a limited pool of artists that can only work so much. So I think that's dubious. I think also like let's be honest, bro. And I kind of had this thought on for a long time. It's like, yo, Tony 10 years ago made I believe two books or a book, and then did his thing for 7 8 years, and it or whatever, took a massive gap, and then came back and made Starting the War. Um, and essentially by saying like, uh, oh, you have to have prestige. Like essentially, like it's almost like you're playing an RPG and you just farm for like a couple days and now you can beat everything. It's kind of like, well, yeah, but your path, you can say, oh, your third book looks amazing, but like really you've been doing this for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Or this has been a since your last book, your first book was. It's like, yo, I'm in year 5, bro. Like Chris Moses in year 6, and it's like we have to is it fair that we should have to compete with somebody on in terms of quality uh who's had twice the amount of time twice the amount of experience making comic books? Like I don't think that's fair at all. And essentially I would feel like Kickstarter is the thing to cut your teeth so that you can make a prestige book, right? Like so that you can like learn the ins and outs of how do I make this, what are the margins, all this stuff. But like with this process, you would be those people would just be fucked because like, oh, you don't have this objective quality of, hey, you're not making, hey, basically, you're not James Tinian, go fuck yourself. Like that's essentially
my
that's
thing that my thing though with all of this is just like, to me, objective quality has to be agreed on by, like, I don't know what, like, I know what I can tell, like, oh, this is objective quality, but but like I could still think as a consumer that this is shit and I don't want it, even if it's objective quality. Like, to me, the most important like factor is the consumer. Like, if there were all those rules of this is how you make an objectively great book. You have this type of plot. You have all these types of characters. This plot thread. It weaves through. You blah blah blah. Now you hit your conclusion. You print your book this way. You could hit all those check marks, and the consumer still go, yeah, but I don't want it. And
nah, buy this. It's objectively good. Buy this.
and then they go, yeah, but I don't want that. And to me, like, and that it's like, to me, like, it doesn't matter at that point if it was objectively good, because the consumer didn't want it. And to me, that's the most important thing. And so when someone's like, oh, Tyler, like your books on my books are clearly better than yours, it's like, yeah, but who's selling more? So I'm able to convince I've been able to convince consumers that that they should read my books, and they keep reading them over and over. So I, like, to me, the only person that matters isn't a creator's like
Yeah,
judgment, it's the consumers.
yeah, and they
To an
don't put it.
extent, I'll listen to like feedback and critique, and I've taken it and used it in all my books. But to be like, oh, this sucks, you should stop, it's like, you could go kill yourself too.
I ain't gonna co-sign that. But
Oh,
no,
that wasn't to anyone specific.
nah, yeah, yeah. No, but I agree with you. I mean, the consumer definitely plays a part, but that's the thing, and that's the point. And like I said, like we all have the opportunity to promote what we like, but I frankly I just don't believe that bro is reading the books to like know who's good about. I feel like, I mean, this is also, I guess, and this will be like maybe the harshest thing I'll say. I mean, Tony's just he's a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean that to be dismissive in terms of like his opinion has no merit, but we just understand. If I showed him Mr. Katonic High, do you think that he would be like, oh yeah, like this has merit, artistic merit? I mean, he might say it just to save face or whatever, but like I feel like no matter what I put in front of you, if it's not, like Nandor or fucking Alabor, you're not gonna fuck with it. And it's so at that point, it's not about NSFW or objective quality. It becomes subjective, like um it- do I think it's also interesting because when Kickstarter, at least as I perceive, when it first started out, it was the sex positive platform, you know, like you were probably more locked in than I was,
I
and like
w- Dude, the first creator I ever saw on Kickstarter was Larry Niobe.
Jesus,
Like I remember it was like a big deal that he hit like 3K. We were like, dude, this guy is fucking. And then he was like, yo, I'm doing a swimsuit edition. I'm looking for pinups. This is gonna go on my 3K book. I'm like, I gotta get in on this, man. That's how I met Larry. I was like, I gotta get in on this. This motherfucker made 3K.
shouts out to Larry, man. Nah, I feel like if Larry and Mindy went at it, bro, I don't know what I would pay I'd pay to see that. I'd pay good money to see
I
that.
think they're friends again, so it's
Hell,
fine.
yeah, for now. But yeah, no. So I was like, there's just something like I think and this is where I'll talk about like for me, because I think you're doing it for fun. Now I'm somewhere in the middle in the sense of I want to be professional, but it doesn't necessarily mean working for like Marvel or DC. I want to be professional in the sense of I get my living is making comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so in that way, I do work on my craft, like I sit back and think, bro, I'm like, yo, I wish I was making smut all this fucking money I'm paying these artists, which they deserve the money, but I can get a shittier artist. I mean, I feel like it's evident just from the quality of the artwork, I would say. I've gotten significantly better at like understanding visual storytelling. I mean, I learned how to do basic Photoshop just so I could make my own graphics for my Kickstarter. That is craft, like
Yeah.
that that is craft. And I talk to my editors. Like I'll talk to my editor, Dunn. I'll send him a script. Who'll give feedback. I read through the feedback. I get in a call with him for like 30-40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like at least once a week. Like I do care about my craft very much. Like I've loved writing since I was 8. You know what I'm saying? And
You know
and
how a few
it it,
changes
it did feel shitty to have somebody dismiss that without even reading the books when I first started because they weren't making money, and then now when they're in SFW and they're making money. But then that's when I have to go back to I was like, why am I trying to convince people that aren't even willing to be convinced? They're not even be keeping an open mind to be convinced. Like, why would I care? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of come in now, where it's like, yo, I mean, the motherfuckers are haters. You can't convince them.
And that's fine. That's fine. Like to me, I always say like the worst thing that you can ever do to me is like argue with me on Twitter, and I've got nothing going on.
Yeah,
Because if I've got nothing going on, I will spend all day on this shit. Typically, I'm super busy. Like
yeah,
I'm either traveling or I'm working or something. But God forbid you say something on a day I've got like a couple hours free.
hmm
I'll spend my fucking day um, going back and forth with you, and I don't know, like creators frustrate me so much just because of the lack of and it's all artistic people. It's just this lack of wanting to understand business and whatnot, and I get it, like the arts, the passion, the we're pushing the world forward with our thinking, and but at the end of but to me, I'm like, that just stuff is so boring. And I was going back and forth with Godphone. He was trying to have this intellectual conversation. I just went, dude, this conversation's boring. I don't want to do this. And there were some people like, oh, like Tyler lost. It's like, no, I just don't like. This is this is like, to me, this is a waste of my time, because this is a conversation that will not go forward. I don't care. They're jacking off to this conversation, like, oh, I'm intellectual, and at the end of the day, to me, it's always the most intellectual artists who complain about not making money with their art. Um, and yeah, I mean, I've Alex Mail saying that last stream was wild. I think the creators not wanting marketing advice took things too personally. I've actually debated BA like twice within the last 2 weeks. The other one I jumped in with yours mostly because I was pissed off that you guys kept using my tweets for the first 45
Nah, I try to
minutes.
get off of it. I did try to get off of that.
I appreciate that. I actually like talking with BA because he's very cool, like keeps his composure, and we can just talk back and forth. I do like talking with BA, and typically what I found when I talk with BA is we always somehow meet in the middle. Us like always meet pretty close in the middle on some things, and he's respectful like during the conversation. I didn't find Tony respectful during the conversation, and I was like, do I also be super disrespectful right now, or do I just take it and I just kept looking at the camera like. But I'm
What
going
can you
back on
do?
that podcast just with myself and Lucids and Kyle, so
Oh yeah,
I am happy about that.
I'm going in there too. Yeah, nah. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm tired. What was your what was your last
BA with
point
BA,
about?
these
Yeah,
debates about
right.
like smut and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with BA and Godfo is they can't answer simple questions. It's like they have to like intellectualize everything, which is like exhausting. I of the names that I would mention, BA was probably like, yeah, the most pleasant, like just kind of like an even keeled guy. I don't agree with a lot of what he said, but yeah, nah, he's cool. I think like in terms of yeah, in terms of quality, I don't see them, and that was one thing that I think we need to be specific about who we're talking about as well. And I think that's a problem that they had because BA was talking about how some creators will they'll act like they aren't even doing it in SFW. They won't attribute any of their success to that. And then you ask them like, who are you talking about? And he wouldn't answer, I don't know. It's like, well, because you're being vague, Mindy, me, you, other people were like, "What the fuck?" Well, you feel like you might be talking to me, and you can't say no. I'm talking to this individual over here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Godfo was saying it's you, Tyler. You give all this marketing advice, but you never say bring up the sex sells.
that was hard, bro. That was terrible. Because if you had brought that up, if you had put that number five, he'd be like, "Mm-hmm, see." Like it was a lose lose. They just don't want you to give marketing advice, but they should shut the fuck up because like who's getting marketing advice? Okay, here's what we know because I'll grant Tony this. He is one of those people that he has his takes or whatever, but he has shown that he can make a product that people would want. Like I can understand the motivation to be like, yeah, just a little more of a push, and maybe I could be on this level. This I understand it, but none of them other motherfuckers have. Like frankly, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Tony is
Like
successful. He has 3 very good Kickstarters.
yeah.
Like I've read the first like 10 pages of Star Noir. I would have bought the books had he had a fucking website, Tony.
And
Um,
that's the thing too, is like it's like, yo, they're like, oh, it's generic advice. It's like then fucking keep scrolling past, bro. If I told you look both ways before crossing the fucking street, would you tell me that's generic advice? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like people, and that's what I mean. When you're in the industry for 10 years, like that's kind of like that shit starts to my eyes glaze over when I read that too, because like yeah, I know it, but it's always somebody looking to make their first comic book.
yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
also it's like if you know it, are you doing it?
And that's another thing.
That
Yeah,
that
that's
that's to me. It's like you can know it, but then if I see you're not doing it, then don't tell me it's generic. You still need to do some stuff. Um,
shit drives me crazy, bro. I just don't understand and like I said, I don't see them complain. I never seen Godfo complain. I feel like, if there's somebody that's been complaining, you should say. Just say who it is. Like, because I didn't see Godfo. BA is very happy with his first campaign. But there's a lot of people where you're like, yeah, and part of the reason I had this was that it was a creator. They were like, man, I feel like the community hasn't been supporting me like I've been supporting me, and I'm just sad. Like I know I'm crying, I'm whining, but I'm just sad. And I was like, this is somebody whose passion is in question right now. And I was like, damn, if a Larry saw this, oh man, if this, and I was just like, bro, I empathize with you because I do empathize with that. Like you should there should be you should be free to like vent about how you feel
Uh huh.
and shit like that. And in that regard, that's one thing I regret about that whole tweet with the Alan Moore tweet. Now, again, this goes for the purity warriors, what I call them. This is true across the board. They want the most charitable reading of whatever they tweet every time. Like they want you to not take things at face value. It's like, oh, you got to find the nuance. It's like, why From Hell? Like, why not? That From Hell was even his first book. Like you don't think Watchmen would have sold? You don't think V for Vendetta would have sold, bro? I still don't think there's an Alan Moore on the platform. Well, I think there are a couple people like, and isn't like James Tinian in the Alan Moore mold? Like, kind of doing like superhero stuff, smart looker stuff, like kind of horror. Like, you tell me his Kickstarter wouldn't do good? Like, it's just, but
There's a
in
lot of
retrospect,
there's a lot of nuance, and when you try to like unpack the nuances, you just don't get it. It's like, then tell me, like explain. Oh, you wouldn't get it. It's
I explained it somewhere else.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I just think when it comes to those when it comes to like social platforms, I do agree. Like creators do need to vent. Sometimes like it can be
Yeah.
totally taken like out of context. I think a new phenomenon that I've seen recently is the whole. It used to be like you don't raise this much, or like other superficial stuff like that. Lately, I'm starting to see the your book isn't quality, my book is, and then starting to compare series. That's a new thing for me, and like to me, that's very interesting. That to me is the new like I'm better.
Nobody's reading anybody's books.
Yeah, my bitch.
Nobody.
Like we're not like no one's reading the books. Um, I've seen that. I've seen that with like not even just Tony and Godfall. I've seen that with other people where it's like, well, my book's better than yours, and I'll see that on Twitter, and I'll just be like whoa, like let's like to me, I'm okay if you're talking about like other stuff, but when it comes to like my book's quality is better than your book's quality, I don't know. To me, that's like very that's when it's like creators versus. That's when like I get creators versus creators when we're talking about business, marketing, what we like, what we don't like, trends, Kickstarter, what we want, blah blah blah. But when it becomes like, well, my book's better than your book, that's when I'm like, whoa, like have we crossed the line? Because then at that point, I
Based on what?
I feel like well, one based on what I feel like that's when you've taken it now to a super personal level. You've now that's when now it's gone personal. Like you can make fun of me, jokes, YouTube, the business, your post tweets, but then you go, well, my book's obviously better than yours. Now it's very personal. And if you haven't read the books, or I don't know, that's when it's like, okay, this is creator versus creator. Now you've taken it a step too far. I don't know. Is that weird? Is that bitch made of me to say that?
I don't have a problem with that. And something else I'm going to say as well is me personally, I give every creator, you put yourself out there, you make comics. I owe you respect, I feel. And then you can lose that respect for sure.
Uh huh.
I feel like for some of these motherfuckers, Tony, it's the opposite. It's like you no. You have to earn that respect. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to earn as much as not being caught out your name. Like so that's a little crazy to me. Um I as far as like on my book better, it's like everybody it feels like kind of like the only person that can like really take pride in their book is Tony. Like that's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Like even in that conversation, again, it was Nandor, Tony, From Hell. That was it. Um, I think everybody should be able to take pride in their book. Like um, I think if like Girl with the Mega Fist, it was just some random person making that, I don't think people would have much to say. But because you put yourself out there, you give advice, then it's people it's like look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is shit. Like that's my perspective,
That's fair.
and I
They
don't
can
think
use it
it's
as a weapon.
yeah, I don't think it's fair. Like I mean, somebody, bro. I remember it was the professor, bro, and I had that page. I had to post the page from Invincible in what is the white room? I forgot what it was. I forgot what the
Oh,
room
I
was.
remember what you're saying. You're talking about the
He was
coloring.
like, good color. He's like, yeah, this coloring sucks. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he posted a bunch of pages that had like more obvious coloring, but the technique was way off. It's like it's like shit like that. Like some of these people, like again, I'll give him credit because his book looks great, but some of these motherfuckers, they need to like respectfully, neither Godfo. I keep saying I need to stop. I need to stop saying Godfo or BA. Neither one of their books look like that great to me. Like
Well,
truly. Like
BA is working on a comic book. He hasn't got a comic book yet.
he has well, he hasn't has he not shipped it out?
It's not a comic. It's a prose. It's a novel.
Oh, it's a novel.
Yeah, he's working on a
Oh,
comic book.
and like I don't have any problem with BA. Okay, cool. But okay, well that's a whole other that's a whole
Dude,
that's
BA
a
is a
whole other
very
can of worms.
interesting dude because he like is in comics, in the indie comics community as a prose novelist.
And bro, anyway, because I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to play nice, and I think people will say I'm failing, but I'm gonna try my best. I would say when we talk about objective quality, I would throw Chris's hat in the ring, and in terms of and I would throw my hat in the ring, and I think the difference in quality can be shown in the preview pages. Frankly, like you're not gonna know what the storytelling. Well, you can see the visual storytelling. Like, but it's way out. Like, I'm always trying to push the visual envelope. To me, the passion and it manifests. I see it like an arms race. That's how I see comics, right? I'm doing my thing. Chris is doing his thing. You're doing your thing, and we're all in different kind of lanes, but we're like trying to stack up resources and shit. You know what I'm saying? And a resource could be a Rolodex full of great artists. You know, it can be a mailing list. It can be this or that. That's what I love. I love, I guess, amassing like resources,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I'm gonna say something else, bro. I'm gonna
Okay.
say something, and again, I'm trying to just keep it to the point. I have a take that the only people that emphasize quality over quantity are the people that can only do one or the other. If you can only make a book a year, right?
Oh, like their
Theoretically,
resources only allow
yeah,
them to.
do one book a year. Like, let's say you could only do one book a year, then you better fucking push fucking quality versus quantity. Like you
There are
better.
no
That's the only
excuses.
card. That's the only card you got. And you're telling me BA doesn't even have a comic book, so he has literally zero. He has neither. Like so that makes a lot of sense to me. And I was told that I pushed quantity over quality, and I was shocked. I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about, because if we want to be pros, right, like that's the goal, right, you better be able to fucking work on more than one book.
Yeah, especially as a writer. If you are as a writer and
Yeah,
you're working on the mainstream, you better be able to handle 3 to 4 books at a time.
yeah.
Um,
And it's not even like I just love having a finished copy. I just love the book fucking coming together. I like having it in my hand. I like putting it on the table. I think that's kind of like the best part for me is when I put the book in the rack, almost like the star on top of the Christmas tree.
oh yeah, 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 for
Like I just
sure.
like I like anoint the table with
It's very
this new
addicting.
book.
You're like, I gotta get to the next one.
I need more. I need more shit. But I'm not going like, oh man, I gotta shit something out. I'm like, yo, like, brother, we got John Rauch. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think there's a lot of indie comic books that looks better than like American Yakuza. I'm gonna be 1,000,000% honest. I would consider that objective quality.
That's fair. I also think when it comes to like judging like quality and like people's books versus books, I also think it's disingenuous and unfair to like you would never put a crime noir book next to a superhero book and go, oh, look at like the art differences. And it's like, yeah, like of course, like you're gonna want the superhero one to be breaking the panels, and you're gonna have maybe the crime noir one be a little more short pacing, like more like movie type shots. Um,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little slower pace, and like it's you can't say, oh, this is oh, look at this, look at the crime noir page, it's boring. Well, that's the story, like that's the
Yeah.
genre. Um, and so yeah, to have like I don't know, to compare stuff, I think it's goofy. I think it's elementary. I think it's gay and retarded. Honestly, sorry for saying that. I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
apologize. But I don't know. I don't know. I look at if you look at let me pull this up.
Yeah. Let's look at some more shit, bro. Let's get it.
Like if you're to be like, oh, like the color work on this as isn't as good as like Elizabeth Brightweiser on Kill or Be Killed. It's like, yeah, no shit, because that was a very noir book, and this is sci-fi. You want these vibrant colors. These are very good colors, by the way.
I see what you're getting at. I mean, I definitely see what you're getting at as well. Yeah. What are you comparing? Why do you even feel the need to compare these things as well? I would say these are quality pages. You know, like I would also say like this is storytelling. Like this is visual storytelling.
Oh, this is
Um, we,
fantastic.
we, we got competition. We got scale. We got silhouette. Um, no, there's
You know,
a
you got
story
your
here,
establishing shot. She's walking in. She's seeing the different monsters. I don't know.
and like
I don't know
this
what's
is
going on here, but it's fun. It's a comedy.
and I love this last page here. It looks like very manga, almost anime esque, like with the glasses like shining.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is very rudimentary, right? This is very entry level conversations we're having, but these are the conversations they think we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the things that they think we just like shit out this books and stuff like that. Like I said, I wish I was making smart. I would save so much fucking money if I was just making
You get
smart.
those like $10 a page Fiverr guys, and then they just draw the because they don't care about the interiors. Then you spend the rest of your budget on a bunch of covers.
Yeah, like if you go, could you go to Cyborg Girlfriend number two? You can click on my
Is that
shit.
yours?
Yeah, Cyborg Girlfriend number two.
I don't think I know that
Yeah,
one. Oh, I do. It's the blonde chick.
look at all them above 284 backed. Like that.
This one?
That's one. Yeah, that one. The I think the most successful sci-fi noir series on the platform. I think maybe. But who's counting?
See, son of a bitch. Is this
Who's counting?
is this the Zong Bros?
This is on bros. Yeah, they're lit. They're so fucking great. I would argue so. I like the look of this book, and this has the noir look. No, but there's an implied mystery here. There's the text because I know Tony said like we don't include text, or I shouldn't say we. I don't know if he was referring to me. I don't include the text in the lettering because on number one because you don't want I don't want to get too confusing. Like I feel like the visual should speak for themselves, and then essentially you're going to have dialogue that's out of context unless you show like just the first four pages, but the first four pages may not be the best ones used to sell. um I would also, as we're scrolling, if you scroll back up to the samples, I would also say like there's an emphasis on like action here. um there's an emphasis on character interactions. If you yeah, like there's some, there's some panel work there. I think it's a good looking book. I do.
It's a good look.
Um,
This isn't a this is not a bad looking book.
yeah, for
Like
sure. Yeah,
this is a
for sure.
very good looking book. Um, I would say a lot of I would say like you guys put out good books.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I would say that about a ton of creators, and I think a big problem that you'll see is and once again it's just creator on creator, because obviously like for over 400 people were like, yeah, like who cares about the opinion of these one or two creators. You rate 400 people went, yeah.
When you think about a lot of the core of these criticisms, that people have, it's that they don't have enough influence, essentially. Like
they're
that,
not going to bring attention to themselves.
not even that they're right, but they can't influence the platform. They can't influence blah blah blah. Like it's like, so yeah, why should I give a fuck about your opinion? Like I asked Godfall, I was like, what makes you the authority on this? And he wouldn't answer. It's like, because there is no answer. Like I can say this and that again. We can't say what money we owe. My God, no. The fact, the whole like, if you know so much, why aren't you rich? Like it's like, honestly, I think that was a set to try to get you to talk about like how much you make on Kickstarter or how much, because like that's the counter art. That's the opposite of what the argument has been. You know, like you've always made more money on Kickstarter, and now it's just about now the money's a validator. Like,
which
what
is
the
which
fuck
is
is going
which is
on?
which is crazy. Like to me that's when it goes like really like to me that's when it gets super elementary when
Mm-hmm.
it when it when it's when money, because at that point, is that the game we're playing? Do we gotta, because we can play it, like
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
can play that game.
yeah,
You'll
yeah.
lose all
But
day
relax,
every day, so like
relax.
why would we play that game? I'm not going like, why are these creators making like this much money? Like, congrats. I don't complain about anyone making money on their Kickstarters.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck because, like I said, I'll read, and this is true for me, probably true. I'll read anything, bro. Like I said, my favorite manga series, one Rama One Half. I love Chainsaw Man, bro. I just read absolute Batman. That shit was fucking fire. Ultimates, like I just got done reading Invincible. Like I truthfully will read anything. So this whole gatekeeping based off of opinion or even perceived quality to me, it's just fucking corny. It's another one that like shows character and tears and stuff like that. Hey, it's words. It's got words. Let's go. It's got the lettering. Not the best lettering. We're gonna remaster that. Also, yeah, Tyler, I think a piece of criticism that you gave to me for Tapper Die #1 is you said that there were moments where there should have been
Mm-hmm.
dialogue and there wasn't. Like the character's mouth was open or there was a moment for pacing reasons. And I kind of filed that away and always kept that. I kind of kept that in mind. And I think like part of my process is when I make a book, I'm almost like focusing something. Oh, can you go to? Damn, can you see all? Can you see my pre-launch? My projects in pre-launch?
No, only you can.
Fuck. All right, hold on. Let's see. Because I fucking love this book. And I can't really show. I don't really show this shit yet because it's like so far away from being launched. Hit present. Share screen. Wish I had more images. Yeah, yeah. So this is I'm sharing my screen now.
Why is it not letting me add your screen? There we go.
Yeah, yeah. So this book, They Killed Me on the Nile. So it's about the tragedy of Set murdering Osiris. Like it's like Egyptian mythology and shit like that. Got an amazing art team here. But essentially, like I made this book because I wanted to stretch my legs visually. I really wanted to push myself to make something that was really impressive visually. Like, okay, I want to be not in the driver's seat. Like, obviously, the artist is the most important person in that, but I want to be in like the passenger seat, or I want to be in the very back seat and
Uh
kind
huh.
of like push the visuals. Um, and no, I'm just like super duper excited about this one. I don't have any more colored pages, but this is just an example of why I think while quantity can be useful, because if you're going into it and you're going into it as a learning experience. If you treat every book like a learning experience, then you're gonna learn so
Your
much.
next one's always gonna be better.
That's always what I'm pushing for. Um, and I if we go should we go back to the oldest books? Let's go to my old shit.
Dude, whatever happened to um you only did one of them. The I wish the gods were dead.
Oh, I mean, it didn't. It's I'm working on it, but I just didn't. It just didn't hit like I had hoped.
Gotcha.
It didn't find the audience that I had hoped, and I wasn't super happy with how the book came out. So yeah, like this is my second book, Decay, and yeah, there's just like I feel like the difference in terms of like visual storytelling. Like I probably wouldn't do this splash page right here.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like change things up significantly. So that's just like part of the reason why I think like
And,
yeah,
and
like
there's just and there's different ways of people like learning and creating. If you have the resources to keep making books and learning that way, do it. And if you don't have those resources, then yeah, like you're gonna spend a year on a script and make sure, okay, like this has got to look fucking perfect for when I send it to the artist. Whereas you can make a book and go, fuck, like that. I should have done this better on the panel. Okay, next book. That'll.
this one has text too. This one has lettering. Just putting that out there. This one has lettering. This is one of my favorite series. It's on to kill people. No, this is definitely one of my favorites. We see, you know, like I feel like this is a good looking book again. This is Fabi Marquez who colored this, another professional colorist. So, you know, there's a lot of people back out here making a lot of good books. Also, I want to give a shout out to Trevor F, who does Rise, um, which is one of my favorite series as well on Kickstarter.
I liked what you brought up, like giving back to the giving back to the platform.
Yeah,
It kind of goes like with like social media in general. Like the more time you spend on a particular platform, the more you will quote unquote like be rewarded. If you spend a lot of time on Twitter or YouTube, you will, if you're doing a good job, you will be rewarded with followers and like an audience and whatnot. And I think you're right. Kind of the same thing goes with Kickstarter. Is the more that I mean, you can have Kickstarter followers. So the more people that you back, you start getting Kickstarter followers. They start backing your books. Their Kickstarter followers follow you, and eventually you're just building out this organic. But if you're only backing 5 or 10 people, then I mean, I had someone reach out to me and go, "Hey, I backed this creator's book, and because they backed your book, I got a notification that said, "Hey, so and so backed this book. You should check it out." And I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Like that's awesome. But you can only do that if you are being a good steward of that platform and being a part of it. I mean, I've backed probably around like 300 projects. Like you. I'm not saying all those books were perfect, you know.
of course not. I don't want a perfect book, and I think that's another thing I've realized is like, and again, everybody can have. I think that's my point. Is everybody can have their own process. I'm never going to tell somebody what to do. Um, but I kind of I don't want your if you're gonna have a book that's good enough for image, like pitch the image. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it get the resources that it needs. You know what I'm saying? And I want your book. I want to see you cut your teeth. You know, that's what Kickstarter is for. It's for cutting your teeth. I feel like. And I felt like when I was because I was talking to a lot of people that had a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to a lot of people that made comics for years, and I felt all this pressure that everything should be as flawless as possible. I was like, nah, bro, because when I check out a series, right? I check out a number one that's like it needs some work. Motherfuckers like, yo, give it time. You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't indie creators afford the same level of like rope
Mm.
that professionals are? It's just so crazy to me. Got some porn interiors here.
I swear, these guys see like a female thigh and they're like, ugh.
They're like, oh, this is terrible. Repent for your
I'm looking at the
sins.
Air American Yakuza book.
Oh yeah,
I feel like I backed this, but I never backed the rest. Um,
I think you did. Yeah. Oh, did they? I think they took it so that you can't see
the no, you should be able to see the ones that you're on.
American Yakuza. Yeah, Act 1 or 2. No, I mean, and also you can. I think something that I realized and something that I can get motivated. I was talking to somebody, they were like, yeah, I have to be super invested in a project to work on it. And I was like, well, and they wanted to be professional. I was like, that doesn't sound professional. Like when I go to my day job, I'm not super motivated every day to do the best job possible, right? Like, um, I always find something to get invested in. Like with Esther's Club, it's the process. Like, oh, I'm making a book with my buddies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make the best book. I'm enjoying the creative team. With American Yakuza, it was like, yo, like Charlie gave us free reign to do whatever we wanted. And it's got the colors from fucking Invincible. With It's Fun to Kill People. It's like a very personal story to me. It's my first comedy. But I don't give a fuck about aliens. Like here, because the book makes so much, I can really invest into some great artists that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. So I always find something that like keeps me going. And I think if people don't have that, I think it's unfortunate. I think people should try to do that. Um,
It's like you don't have to be uber excited or passionate, like 110% on every project. You
well,
can at first. I feel like you do at first.
I'm saying that I guess creative fulfillment can come in different ways is what I'm
That's
trying to
good.
say.
That's a good way to say
It doesn't necessarily be I'm going to make the best book of all time. I think it can be different things. I also want to push back, and again, I really thought about it. And I was like, I think the most influential comic book of all time is Dragon Ball. And I would extend that to Dragon Ball Z, and not just on manga, just in general. Like I feel like it's the most, and like the criticism of Man of Steel's third act was that it was like Dragon Ball Z. Um, but but I don't think that these guys would respect that, and not maybe that's not a great example, but like okay, let me pivot to Scott Pilgrim because Akira Toriyama, rest in peace. Like if Scott Pilgrim was on Kickstarter, would these guys fuck with it? Like would they respect it?
Mm.
The art wasn't amazing on the first book. It became a very beautiful series, but that first book was a little rough. They had some growing pains. I think about like Calvin and Hobbes, another great book that like I think I think the key when you say pushing the medium forward, I think it's really like how many people are you inspiring to create in the medium
Mm.
itself? And it doesn't have to be super serious prestige um books, right? Like yeah, like Calvin and Hobbes is one of my favorites. Dragon Ball, you know what I'm saying? Bleach. I fucking hate Bleach, but like people like it. Like people like it a lot. It's like so this whole like quality check, objective quality, blah blah blah. I feel like we're just kind of missing the point. Like I think
Well,
we're
you're
missing the
you're
point
saying what
that
I said earlier. It comes back to the consumer. How did the consumer feel about it?
yes, that yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, if the people like it, it's doing its job. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And also you get a sense of moral superiority, which is fine. I don't really care that much. Really, I don't care, but I think it gives you goggles, like it gives you quality booster goggles. Because there's no fucking way you can look at some of these books and be like, oh yeah, like this is better than a Chris. This looks better than a Chris Moses book. Like there's no fucking way. Like you're delusional if you think you make better looking books than Chris. I as well as whenever somebody's like, you're the NSFW guy. You're the sec. I'm like, I'm the NSFW guy, really? Um, in all these conversations we're having, I did. It kept getting everything kept getting funneled to Kickstarter, right? Which I disagree with because there's conventions, there's websites or whatever. I was like, man, I feel like if I had American Yakuza and I just took off the NSFW sales, this would still like sell really fucking well. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it I don't give a fuck about aliens. If I just made that more of a goofy sci-fi comedy, I took out the implicit sexual imagery, that shit would still sell really well. Like a lot of these guys, like you gotta make something that people would want.
But who, yeah, but like who like I was rewatching How I Met Your Mother with my dad, and my dad was like, "Gosh, they're just making like sex jokes all day," and I'm like, "Yeah, they're funny." And he goes, "Not for me," and I'm like, "Okay, well, they were for my generation. Like my generation really fucked with How I Met Your Mother, and like we like that stuff. And yeah, there's a ton of so it's like, but does that mean How I Met Your Mother is a bad series because there was all those sex jokes? Like same with Big Bang Theory or even Friends. I was like, Dad, you watch Friends? There's just as amount of like sex jokes. So it's like to me also it's like oh there's sex. Sex is like such a human thing.
We
Like
got here because of sex.
what?
So we got here some.
We got here because people had sex. Like it's a very human thing. Like there's a lot
We
of
all threesome baby.
motivations. You do it like there's a lot of motivations because of sex. You do things because of sex. So like why wouldn't you like what's the problem with writing that in your story? And when they say like oh well they only rely on that, I would say like I don't see any reliance on these Kickstarters except the fact that there is a sexy girl, but there's no reliance on the sex. Like there, that right there, that image, there's nothing sex intercoursey about that.
When they say sex, they mean sex appeal.
But
Like
just
they
so
don't
but
really.
just so stupid though, because like
I agree with you.
they only go with female sex appeal. It's like okay, what about male sex appeal? Like you know, you guys are all jacked and ripped. Like I want a good looking dude, and I want a good looking female. I just
You keep
ugh.
beating this drum. You keep beating this fucking drum.
Whatever, dude. Jake Gyllenhaal so fucking hot, man.
Okay. Not. All right, bro. Um.
Bring it, Gabe. Bring us. But okay, that like you know right there. Like there's nothing sexual about that.
And also, like the story section is fully filled out. Like, um, the criticism that it's porn because that was something that was funny that happened. That like one of the few times Tony like kind of lashed out at me. He said, "Yo, it's just porn." It's like, well,
For the
it's not.
Amish.
It's not just porn. This definitely because it was one cover that was like had showed penetration essentially.
Oh, you have
But
one of
nah,
those?
you said
Nice.
what?
You got one of those? Nice.
Yeah. So that just makes it. I'm like, yo, this page here is like, I would argue there's still story and visual storytelling going on in this page.
Yes, you
You know,
have you have this alien. You have a dude shocked. The alien is sexy and like taps his chin, so naturally he's like, "What the heck?" And he's like mesmerized. And he's super confused. Like I can read the story. I don't know what the dialogue is, but I can read the story as is. I can follow along. I,
yeah, something that I
there's still no
yeah
artistic
exactly.
merit. It's trash.
Yeah, nah, the art. Yeah, if I'm like, yo, can I imagine? I told my artist like, yo, there's no artistic merit. Oh, sorry for wasting your time. I mean, I fucking love this page, bro. This is one of my favorite pages that I've ever gotten. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love this cover. Like, I'm sorry, I love, I love this cover. I mean, I still think we're getting across here like domination. You know what I'm saying? Like very like strong, kind of like intimidating kind of vibes. I mean,
Here's the thing: if like
yes, like
scroll up to that to the pinup, uh, to the first one. Yeah, that one. This is like a typical DC Comics. They would get Art Sherm to do Power Girl in this pose. Okay, and if they were allowed to, because the money was there and they could do it with their publishing, they would do the next spot. They would do the bottom ones.
yeah. I would also say that this is visual storytelling. Like it's not a lot. Like the Earth is her plaything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a lot, but
But it just does. To me, it just all stems from egotism, jealousy, bitch behavior. But also at the end of the day, like, oh, nice, I see. Okay. To me, at the end of the day, though, like it's fixating on all the wrong things. Like your success, Stokes, isn't affecting my success. I affect my success. It's my job to cultivate my audience, to do what I need to do to get them on. If Kickstarter's the end all be all, like apparently it is to so many creators, then it's my job to get as many people over to Kickstarter. Maybe it means that Stokes needs an email list of 1,000, and it means that you need an email list of 10,000 to get the same amount. That's still your job, and it's okay. And it doesn't mean that the stat, like they kept, they'll keep saying like, oh, it's not about being fair, but like that's what they're talking about. They want fair and easy. And I hate that they think that it's all easy, because it's not.
Nah, this shit hard, bro. This book took a year. Let me say, I love this little. I wrote that in. I love this little thing right here. I wrote that in the script. It's visual storytelling. Who would have thought? You know. I think because of this cover, they would call this shit porn, but it's like it's
Everything's
not.
everything's porn.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty. It's dismissive, and we can't be dismissive towards uh their work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you were to say, you know, Star Wars is the best indie comic on Kickstarter, I think his head would literally explode. But in the inverse, they can kind of shit on us. And in as well, our artists, our creative teams as well, like essentially saying they're not doing shit. They're either wasting their time, they're wasting their talent, their efforts, or they're not giving efforts. There's no effort behind the book. Um, I like this page too. Some good coloring here. I mean,
I just think it's wild being like, yo, this creator's book sucks.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
a level
and
of
there's
mean that I feel like I don't even hit.
I just don't care enough to really. Yeah, this one did $6,000. Like, yo, I'm just showing you like the non NSFW books, like more visual storytelling. They're smoking you, like, respectfully, like they're smoking Godflow. They're smoking these motherfuckers that are the they just think they just hyper focus on that, bro. I'm like, man, I work motherfucking hard, bro. I really do. I like really try to work with my artists. I try to make sure my artists feel like they're being
You're not
respected.
just
Like,
like typing a script in a night and going, all right, let's fucking make this so I can make my $10,000, and like I don't respect the medium. I mean, like I wrote. They always brought up like Cthulhu Murders, and like even like Tony in our DMs would be like, "You're like, my book is way better than Cthulhu Murders." I'm like, "It probably is," and it is. Like, I wrote this in the back of Cthulhu Murders. I went, "Dear reader, I took a massive risk, and I brought you along in the risk with me. I think for the rest of my life, I'm gonna wonder, is this book good? I normally write stories about anime girls saving the world. This time I did something different.
yeah,
I wanted to try mystery. I wanted to make the reader feel like they were solving a crime along with the characters. I'm gonna forever wonder if I did a good job. Please tell me this. But here's one thing I can guarantee: I gave this book everything I had. I had a blast making it. Is it perfect? No. Is it different than what I usually create? Absolutely. Did I have a great time making it? Absolutely. And I hope that you liked it too. And I've like, oh, that book didn't sell well. Yeah, it sold $4,000 on Kickstarter. It's almost at 10,000 now. It continues to sell, and I'll get emails. I leave my email, and people get emails saying, "Hey, like, I had fun with that book. Like you tried something different. I had fun with that book."
yeah. It's like and again, they don't want words put in their mouths, right? Which is fine, but you can infer whether or not somebody has passion for their work or not. Like, how would you determine that?
Mm.
You know, you really can't at a glance. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, trying to pull up this thread. I'm trying. There's a book. Also, like, I think like I work on so many books. Like, I work on like I do have some stuff. I'm making a book with Charlie McKelvey. I'm making like all kinds of books, and here I'm gonna show this. I really like this page.
Make sure it's on the right tab.
No, I know I am. No, no, trust me. The reason why I have it on this other tab is so I don't show the wrong shit.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got this. It's this book called Silent Count. It's about a mute quarterback who has to like take control of a football team. It's got this incredible artist named Gabrielle Fonseca. And no, I love football. Like I love I Shield 21. That's one of my favorite mangas. And no, I just fucking love this book. But like they don't know about this. Like they because it hasn't been talked about. You know what I'm saying? I haven't posted about it too much. But like I promise you this book's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a good book.
I know. I think no matter what, I think for creators like you, Chris, I'll throw my head in the ring. I just think like I don't think we ever try not to make a good book. We don't go like I'm gonna make a bad book.
No.
Our heart is in all of these books, and then we let the audience decide. Before we end the show, we've got like 10-15 minutes left. Um, if you
Another
want to
book.
pull up, I don't. Oh, that's is this another one you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's called Who's Gonna Save Me? Written by myself. But hey, I put myself a lot of myself in the book, but that makes it cringe, you know.
No, dude, I like putting myself in the books. I always my someone I made like a one shot book and they're like, Tyler, are you the main character? I'm like, yeah, you're never gonna see me in a Hollywood movie, so I might as well put myself as the main character, doing some cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would help you. If the criticism is that the books are like vapid or have no artistic merit, I would think put parts of yourself in the book would help you get that motivation or whatever. But hey, what do I know?
Do you want to pull up? I don't give a fuck about aliens one more time. Pitch a story. Tell us what it's about.
Yo,
That's a huge discussion, by the way, of like not like putting in any of yourself in the book. I think that's
that's ridiculous.
I don't think it's possible.
I mean, let me say this.
I think some of your
If
perspectives will end up in a book naturally.
if your book doesn't have some part of yourself or some part, I don't want to read it, Frank. If it's an indie comic, like if it's on Kickstarter,
Mm.
because again, like that's what the premise of the website is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the website is for.
This should be your
Right.
These should be your passion projects.
Exactly. Right. Like it's like, okay, well, that's too much passion. Slow down there. Like gotcha. Jesus Christ.
All right, tell us about. I
Um,
don't give a fuck about aliens. Why people should check it out and buy it when does it even launch?
it launches later this month.
All right, got everyone go hit the notify me on launch button. But yeah, what's the book about? Why should we back it?
Absolutely, yeah. So humana. Um so as I said earlier, I don't give a fuck about aliens. I don't care about UFAs, UFOs, Roswell, Area 51. I just don't give a fuck. And this book reflects that attitude. Like this book kind of reflects that mind state of an apathetic person towards what's going on in the world. And it's got some beautiful artwork. Here, let me pull got some beautiful artwork by Pablo Munez and February. I don't know the last name, unfortunately, but that's going to be on the campaign. Also, if y'all, there's so many people they could criticize in terms of doing like AI covers and like not putting like credits. I see people like not put short like the credits on the books, but like they just shit on us. It's all good. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's sexy. It's got some characters. It's got some heart. It's a beautiful looking book, and it's gonna be a good time.
There we go. It looks good. Like it's like you can't look at that page and go like artistically that's bad.
Well,
That's a great establishing shot. The lighting's very well done.
I'm curious what the yeah I'm curious and if anybody wants to read and review my book, like I want feedback. Like I am somebody who is always looking for feedback. Now, you're a bitch and your book sucks is not feedback, right? Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? Um, I I want to be the best I can be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very fortunate for the artists and the people around me that help me be better, you know, try to get better every day. It doesn't it's not lost on me, but yeah, if anybody wants to critique the books, man, I'm always down to hear it. Um, and then we can show some of the first one as well. Shout out to Patrick Mulholland, who did a crazy fucking job.
Is it the same creative team for the second book?
No, so I wanted to do a different team for every issue. Because I mean, the first one just made so much money. I didn't want to be in a situation where we couldn't get Patrick back, and we probably can't get Pablo back. Like these, when you work with a certain echelon of artists,
Mm-hmm.
their schedules. Like I didn't want to be beholden to their. I didn't want to put pressure on them.
You don't want to be beholden to their schedule.
I don't want to be beholden to their schedule. So it's like, all right, cool. And then like also the beauty of it is I can work on two issues concurrently. Like, if I wanted to start number three while number two is being made, I could do that because it'd be a different team.
Gotcha.
I think the premise, to me, the premise is going to carry, and as long as I get somebody who's a great artist, they will carry. And the the sexy covers are going to do their thing. So that was just my approach.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. If it works, it works. If it's a series that doesn't need like a consistent art team for each one, like if I was to read Tap or Die, and then I'm like, whoa, the art style changed, I might be like,
Yes, yes. I would agree with you. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think for something this high concept, which I think a creator should try to, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you want to do what you want to do or not? I think having something like this, which was definitely I noticed creators had stuff like this where it's like the title is the premise. It
yeah,
just it just saves you time. Like, like if you're at a con, oh my god, bro. I remember it was your boy who does Common America,
oh, Tim Lim.
Tim, and then he grabbed a screenshot from Cyborg number one and was like, "Yeah, I don't like cross pitching." And I was like, "You know what?
Oh, he doesn't like the X meets Y.
Yeah." And I was like, "You know what? I have to bite my tongue here. I can't. I gotta bite the bullet. I can't go against the Common America motherfuckers. Excuse me, not motherfuckers. The gentleman, whoever that makes Common America. But I was like, you know what though? I'll be at a lot of cons. I'm not saying nobody. I'm not implying that some people don't go to cons or whatever. But boy, that three paragraph pitch you have gets whittled down real fucking quick when you at what I'm saying, when you at the motherfucking convention. I would also argue that the character design is, I mean, essentially the X meets Y. You know what I'm saying? Like it's essentially
It's a hard one for sure. You definitely need like a really really good pitch. I mean, sometimes the X meets Y is the fastest for the consumer to like pick up on, but then to me it always makes the expect it always you're then rolling the dice on the expectation. Um,
oh, you mean like Sailor Moon meets Captain America? You know
yeah,
that kind of that kind of shit. Like yeah, I see what you're saying. No, you're right. It's just for me. Yeah, it's like whatever work. That's the thing. It's a lot of definitive advice. There's like this meme that was like people be so definitively. I'm like I don't know, man. Sometimes it depends. It's like yo, it's like that. That's always my thing. It's like yo, we need to stop speaking so definitively because if it works, it works. Day three of a 4 day fucking con. I'm throwing back halls because I'm losing my voice. Yo, fuck that. This is X meets Y. You
that's
know what I'm
fair.
saying? Like
I
I don't give a shit. You
I
know what I'm saying? But also, real quick, my bad. It's what works for the consumer. If the consumer is programmed to understand that as a way, I don't really care how a creator would. I don't care how a creator would perceive a premise because they're not the audience.
Correct,
You know what I'm
correct. Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
I will say this about the definitive advice.
respectfully.
I'll say this about the definitive advice. I think if you're trying to build a personal brand, though, it's good to have definitive advice because it separates you. So, like, by like Tim and them saying this is our definitive advice,
Yeah.
they build their thing, and then if you say nah, then everyone who disagrees with them goes over to you, and so like it's a great personal
But when you
branding.
screenshot somebody else's shit, yeah. But no,
I'll
I
say
think
this: they're really nice guys. I'm sure they didn't do it in ill will.
like what are the odds, bro? You're scrolling through Twitter like, yo, that sounds lit. I'm like,
Oh
yo,
well, dude. Well, if anything, it means that they know about you. I mean, those guys, they're busy with like all their
yeah.
Japan,
Oh,
common America shit.
I think that's the one. That's the one indie comic series that I think is like truthfully huge. Like that's the one I think it's like when you start getting fan art consistently,
Oh yeah, and
that's when you made it.
dude, like I can't say what we were doing, but like we had to like we had to do stuff with for I got to be part of it. Basically, an international company sent them over some stuff. They had to try out some of the stuff. I got to be like part of that. Be like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? But it was just crazy to think like, oh, it's just this indie comic. But you have this like big international company saying like they're like working like deals out. And whatnot. And I mean they've had their own pop-up shops in like Japan and whatnot. And people, yeah, like they have these four girls who just forever cosplay their characters at every convention in Japan. I mean yeah, to me I agree to that. That's what you've hit a level of success.
They're so successful. I felt disrespected. All I can say is, oh man.
They're also what's funny. They're also just the goofiest guys. Like I said, I spent a week with them on a road trip. They're the goofiest guys.
Nah, I believe it. Nah, I believe it. I don't think it's just like no harm, no foul. It was just funny
No,
because
for
like,
sure.
oh man, I'm like, oh man, my campaign did $9,000. Okay, I'm feeling myself. It's like, yo, life will. I remember I've had some humbling motherfucking moments, bro. I remember I went on a live show. I hit the guy up to do the show and wouldn't respond. And somebody asked on my behalf. So I go on the show and it's a bunch of creators and they're signed into their Kickstarter account and they backed every single Kickstarter but mine. And on the panel, and I was like, "Oh, that hurt, bro. That felt like buckshot to the chest, boy. Oh my god!" And that was another humbling moment where it's like, "Yeah, let me just eat this one, bro." Oof.
Dude, I had a humble moment. I don't know. Like, I think it was like, I think it was 2 years ago. Someone was like, yeah, Pat Shan says I need to do this. Pat Shan. I was like, who the fuck is this Pat Shan guy, dude? Like, I don't know him. I don't know him. And they sent me like his Twitter profile, and I was just like, yeah, guys, you can listen to this goofy motherfucker. He's not done shit. And then like they sent me his stuff, and I went, oh fuck, like I gotta talk to this.
Nah. Shouts out to Pat, bro. That's the homie. That's the big homie. But
Yeah, dude, those it's you have everyone's got them humbling moments. It's good to
you
have.
meet him. You meet him. Like I never want to feel like this ever again. You're like, yo, fuck. There's somebody always like, nah, I'm gonna say how I feel, and then it's like, nah, this ain't one of them times, bro. This one of them shut the fuck up times.
Shut the fuck up
There
times.
was one of them shut the fuck up times. And I said, like, I think my campaign's doing pretty well. And that was it. That was the end of it. I was like, God,
Hey, but
I
you know
think
what? I think it's interesting because like when I started in indie comics, like the discussion wasn't a lot of the discussion wasn't Kickstarter.
yeah.
And now it's like everyone's just talking about Kickstarter. And I think yeah, it's I don't know what I would felt like had I started now and there's all this Kickstarter that you've got to do this. Like I was part of a group that was like, yo, dude, how do we make our first fucking comic? Like I don't even know how to do this. So
Yeah, no, I think that's part of the problem because motherfuckers are like, I think convention sales are so important for me. I couldn't, man. I ordered 1,000 copies of the K of one cover. Like, man, it's the book I'm gonna make for the rest of my career. You know, this gonna be my.
uh-huh.
It's gonna. So when I say I thought I had goggles, quality goggles, because like I wasn't making NSFW books. I'm speaking from experience. And I sell them motherfuckers. It's a great selling. It's my best selling series at cons.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so happy ending for sure. But I still got them copies. I got some of them.
But even then, like it all like that's we were talking about like advantages. Like you have the advantages of doing conventions. I don't. I don't like so I'm like I gotta push people to my website. So like
Yes,
we
yes.
like everyone's gotta have like you gotta utilize your
You gotta do what you got.
your advantages for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna end the show. Go check out. I don't give a fuck about aliens. The link is in the chat. The link is in the description. I don't know when I'm gonna do another live show, guys. I'm trying to get back into this whole posting content stuff. I'm just so fucking busy. Um, so we'll figure that out. But Stokes, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, bro.
All right, now I gotta figure out how to turn the fucking stream off.
Smut boys on three.
Shut the fuck up.